Imagine living your entire life without ever catching a cold. No flu, no stomach bugs, no mysterious fevers that leave you bedridden. While the rest of us stock up on tissues and sanitizer, there's a select group of people walking among us who seem to possess what can only be described as a biological superpower. They don't just stay healthy, they appear to be medically invincible. In 2019, when COVID-19 swept across the globe, Dr. Sarah Chun at Stanford University began tracking something extraordinary. Among the millions infected, she identified individuals who lived with infected family members for months, shared beds, meals, and air, yet never tested positive. Not once. These weren't people hiding in isolation. They were caregivers, healthcare workers, and family members directly exposed to the virus daily. Their blood showed no antibodies, no T-cell responses, no evidence they'd ever encountered the pathogen that brought the world to its knees. They represented something science couldn't easily explain. Humans who appear to exist beyond the reach of disease itself. The first documented case of supernatural immunity dates back to 1665, during the Great Plague of London. Historical records describe a gravedigger named Thomas Thyn who buried over 20,000 plague victims during the outbreak's peak. While the disease claimed 1 in 4 Londoners, Thyn remained completely healthy. Physicians of the time examined him repeatedly, expecting to find signs of infection, but discovered something unprecedented. His blood seemed to actively repel the plague bacteria. Fast forward to World War I, and military doctors encountered similar anomalies. Sergeant James Morrison served in the trenches of the Somme, where disease killed more soldiers than enemy fire. While his comrades succumbed to trench foot, dysentery, and the deadly Spanish flu, Morrison remained untouched. Medical officers noted that wounds that should have become infected healed with unusual speed, and illnesses that decimated entire battalions never affected him. These weren't isolated incidents. Throughout history, every major pandemic has produced a handful of individuals who seem to exist in a different biological reality. The 1918 flu pandemic, which killed 50 million people worldwide, left behind survivors whose immunity patterns puzzled physicians for decades. Some had been directly exposed to the virus hundreds of times, yet their bodies showed no signs of ever mounting an immune response, as if the pathogens simply couldn't establish a foothold. What made these historical cases particularly intriguing was their children. Records suggest that this extraordinary resistance often passed to the next generation, though not always in predictable patterns. Some offspring inherited complete immunity, while others developed what physicians called selective resistance. Protection against specific types of diseases, but vulnerability to others. Dr. Elena Reyes, an immunologist at Johns Hopkins, has spent her career tracking these genetic lineages. Her research reveals families where no member has experienced a serious illness in over 150 years of documented medical history. We're not talking about people who eat well and exercise, she explains. These are individuals whose bodies seem to operate under entirely different biological rules. The scientific revolution in understanding superimmunity began in 1995 with a remarkable discovery in the Swiss Alps. Researchers studying isolated mountain communities found a family of 12 whose members had never required medical treatment beyond routine checkups. Blood analysis revealed something unprecedented. Their white blood cells were producing compounds that had never been identified in human biology. Dr. Klaus Weber, the lead researcher, initially suspected laboratory error. The family's immune cells were generating what appeared to be natural antibiotics, compounds so potent they could neutralize bacteria, viruses, and even some toxins on contact. More remarkably, these substances were being produced continuously, not just in response to threats. Their immune systems weren't reacting to disease, Weber noted in his groundbreaking 1997 paper. They were preventing it from ever taking hold in the first place. Further investigation revealed genetic mutations affecting the HLA, human leukocyte antigen, system, the body's method of recognizing foreign substances. While most humans have thousands of HLA variants, these superimmune individuals possessed patterns so unique they seem to represent an entirely different approach to biological defense. In 2003, researchers at the Centers for Disease Control identified 47 healthcare workers who had been directly exposed to SARS patients but never contracted the disease. Genetic sequencing revealed a common mutation in the CCR5 gene, the same gene that, when mutated differently, provides resistance to HIV. However, this variant seemed to offer broad-spectrum protection against multiple pathogens simultaneously. Dr. Marcus Thompson, who led the study, made an even more startling discovery. These individuals' saliva, when tested in laboratory conditions, could neutralize viruses within minutes. Their skin secretions showed antimicrobial properties stronger than most commercial sanitizers. Even their breath contained compounds that could inactivate airborne pathogens. We were looking at people whose bodies had essentially become walking disinfection systems, Thompson observed. Every surface they touched, every breath they exhaled, was actively hostile to disease-causing organisms. Laboratory tests revealed that exposing these individuals to pathogens resulted in immediate neutralization, not through traditional immune responses, but through what researchers began calling preemptive biological warfare. Their bodies weren't fighting disease, they were making it impossible for disease to exist in their presence. As research progressed, scientists encountered phenomena that challenged fundamental understanding of human biology. Dr. Rachel Park at MIT discovered individuals whose immune systems appeared to possess something resembling memory of future threats, responding to pathogens they had never encountered before. In controlled laboratory settings, Park exposed superimmune subjects to engineered viruses created specifically for her experiments. Remarkably, their immune systems began producing targeted responses within hours, as if they possessed some form of biological precognition. We were seeing immune reactions to threats that, theoretically, their bodies couldn't possibly recognize, Park explained. Even more puzzling was the discovery of what researchers termed temporal immunity. Some subjects showed antibodies for diseases that didn't yet exist in nature but would later emerge through viral mutation. Their bodies seemed to be preparing for evolutionary changes in pathogens years before they occurred. Dr. Yuki Tanaka's research at Tokyo University revealed another extraordinary characteristic. These individuals' microbiomes contained bacterial species that had never been cataloged in scientific literature. These unknown organisms appeared to form sophisticated ecological networks within their hosts, creating what Tanaka described as biological firewalls against infectious agents. Their gut bacteria were communicating with their immune systems in ways we'd never observed, Tanaka noted. It was as if they had developed internal ecosystems specifically designed to prevent disease. The most controversial discovery came from Dr. Maria Santos at the University of São Paulo. Her subjects demonstrated what appeared to be real-time genetic adaptation. When exposed to new pathogens, their DNA showed subtle changes within hours, modifications that enhanced their resistance to the specific threats they'd encountered. We were witnessing evolution happening in real time, Santos reported. Their genetic code was literally rewriting itself to counter new biological threats. Perhaps most remarkably, brain scans revealed that these individuals showed unusual activity in regions associated with prediction and pattern recognition when exposed to potential threats. Their nervous systems seemed to be actively participating in immune responses, suggesting a mind-body connection far more integrated than traditional medicine recognized. Some researchers began proposing that superimmunity wasn't purely biological, but represented a fusion of consciousness and immune function, a state where mental awareness directly influenced physical resistance to disease. Recent breakthroughs have revealed phenomena that push the boundaries of what science considers possible. Dr. James Crawford's team at Harvard Medical School has documented cases where superimmune individuals appear to influence the health of those around them. In nursing homes where superimmune staff members worked, infection rates dropped by 73% compared to facilities with normal staff. Hospital units with superimmune healthcare workers showed dramatically reduced instances of hospital-acquired infections, even after controlling for all other variables. We're seeing evidence of what can only be described as contagious immunity, Crawford reported. Their presence seems to create zones of enhanced health around them. Laboratory analysis revealed that superimmune individuals shed microscopic particles through their skin and breath, particles that, when absorbed by others, temporarily boosted immune function. These immunity factors remained active in the environment for hours after the person had left, creating lingering zones of enhanced disease resistance. Dr. Lisa Wong at Stanford has identified families where superimmunity appears to be expanding. Parents with moderate resistance have children with stronger immunity, who in turn have offspring with even more extraordinary capabilities. We're witnessing immune evolution accelerating across generations, Wong observed. Most remarkably, some individuals have demonstrated the ability to consciously influence their immune responses. Through meditation and focused intention, they can reportedly enhance their disease resistance, direct immune resources to specific body regions, and even accelerate healing processes. Dr. Robert Kim's research at the University of California has documented subjects who can voluntarily increase their white blood cell counts by 300% within minutes, activate specific immune pathways through mental focus, and even induce targeted inflammatory responses to eliminate potential threats before symptoms appear. They've developed conscious control over biological processes that most people can't even perceive, Kim noted. It's as if they've learned to manually operate their immune systems like a sophisticated computer system. Brain imaging reveals that these individuals show extraordinary neural connectivity between the prefrontal cortex and immune system control centers. They appear to have developed direct neural pathways to immune function, conscious access to biological processes that typically operate below the threshold of awareness. Perhaps most intriguingly, some subjects report experiences of sensing disease in others before symptoms appear. They describe detecting specific types of infections, cancers, and autoimmune conditions through what they call biological intuition, an ability to perceive the health status of people around them. The implications of superimmunity research extend far beyond individual health. Scientists are now working to understand whether these capabilities can be artificially induced or transferred to others. Dr. Catherine Moore's groundbreaking work at MIT has successfully transferred immunity factors from superimmune individuals to laboratory animals. Mice treated with these compounds showed complete resistance to infections that normally proved fatal. More remarkably, the protection persisted for months, suggesting that temporary exposure to superimmune factors could create lasting changes in immune function. Gene therapy trials are already underway to introduce superimmune genetic variants into volunteer subjects. Early results suggest that targeted genetic modifications can significantly enhance disease resistance, though researchers emphasize that we're still years away from fully replicating natural superimmunity. The ethical implications are staggering. If superimmunity can be artificially created, should it be made available to everyone? Would this create a two-tier society divided between the naturally vulnerable and the artificially enhanced? How would healthcare systems adapt to populations that rarely require medical intervention? Dr. Sarah Kim at the World Health Organization raises deeper concerns. If disease becomes optional, we may fundamentally alter what it means to be human. Our vulnerabilities have shaped our evolution, our societies, our compassion for one another. What happens to humanity when we remove those shared limitations? Some researchers worry about biological consequences. Superimmune individuals, while disease-resistant, sometimes show unexpected vulnerabilities. Some develop autoimmune responses to beneficial bacteria, while others struggle with vaccines that their systems immediately neutralize before they can provide protection. The military applications are equally concerning. Nations are already investigating whether superimmune capabilities could create soldiers resistant to biological weapons, or whether superimmune factors could be weaponized to create new forms of biological warfare. Yet the potential benefits are revolutionary. Hospitals where superimmune staff work could become truly sterile environments. Elderly care facilities could eliminate the infections that claim thousands of lives annually. Parents could protect their children from diseases that have plagued humanity for millennia. Dr. Michael Torres at the National Institutes of Health believes we're witnessing the emergence of Homo superior, a subspecies of humanity naturally resistant to biological threats. His research suggests that superimmunity may be an evolutionary response to increasingly complex disease environments, a biological adaptation that's appearing just when humanity needs it most. We may be looking at the future of human evolution, Torres proposes. In a world of antibiotic resistance and emerging pathogens, superimmunity might not be a superpower, it might be a survival necessity. As climate change creates new disease vectors and global travel spreads pathogens faster than ever before, these superimmune individuals may hold the keys to humanity's biological future. They represent living proof that human potential extends far beyond our current limitations, suggesting that the line between normal and superhuman may be more fluid than we ever imagined. The mystery of people who never get sick has revealed something profound. The human body possesses capabilities we're only beginning to understand. In studying these biological outliers, we've discovered that our concepts of human limitations may be more arbitrary than absolute. The future may not require us to transcend our biology. It may simply require us to fully realize the extraordinary potential that already exists within human genetic possibilities. These individuals walking among us aren't fictional characters from science fiction. They're real people whose very existence challenges our understanding of human limits. Their biological capabilities suggest that what we consider normal human potential might represent only a fraction of what's actually possible. In laboratories around the world, scientists continue unraveling the mysteries of superimmunity, each discovery revealing new questions about consciousness, evolution, and the hidden capabilities of the human form. The people who never get sick aren't just medical curiosities. They may be harbingers of humanity's biological future. The next time you wonder about the limits of human potential, remember, there are people walking among us whose bodies have already transcended those boundaries. The mystery isn't just how they do it, it's whether the rest of us can learn to do it too.